Hi, it's Heather. Let's have a quick garden chat about combating the sad. The sad, Heather, whatever do you mean? Do you mean the standard American diet? Nope. Do you mean summer ain't done? Well, I just totally made that up, but maybe a little bit. I'm in a little denial about summer being over. There was that winter in early New England history that winter never came, so it could happen, right? How about seasonal affective disorder? Yep, that's the one right there. So it is a real thing, especially, and I've known that it is a thing that affects me for many years. So I've come up with some things that help me tremendously in combating the sad. So specifically today, I want to talk about St. John's wort and how that is a very powerful plant that is in my arsenal in combating the sad. So how do you know if you have the sad? Okay, so it happens around the same time that your tan starts to fade and the days get a little shorter and you find yourself outside a little less, getting a little less sunshine, and whether I actually don't know that those things are happening until one day I find myself, I'm like, you know, you're not as motivated to get her done like you had been. So I have a little less motivation, a little less interest in things, a little down maybe sometimes. There are a bunch of different symptoms when it comes to sad. And as the season progresses, it is something that you should read up on it so you could see if this is what's going on with you. And I know that there's a lot of things going on in society right now that'll make you a little sad, right? And so I think St. John's wort might be something that you should look into. Now, I'm going to give you my disclaimer. I have learned all of my herbs one herb at a time. You're not going to help, are you? No. By researching them thoroughly, by growing the plants as well as initially buying a tincture of whatever the herb was. So do I know everything that there is to know about herbs? No, I do not. But I do know that with St. John's wort, if you're taking, it'll interact with other medications. So that is something to definitely do your research on, especially if you're taking any kind of medication. St. John's wort is a plant that blooms in early summer and it has beautiful yellow flowers on it. I encourage you to read up on St. John's wort and to right now is a great time to get seeds maybe from people like me. If you're local to me, I've got a ton of St. John's wort seeds in the garden that I would love to share with you. And you can just sow them directly on the ground if you can get them where you want them next year. And they will most likely germinate and grow in that spot. So identifying St. John's wort in the different seasons of early spring. Hey, editing Heather, can you find that picture of the early spring St. John's wort so we can see it? Let's just give her just a minute because she's a little slow with the editing software. Okay, so hopefully I found it. So you want to identify in early spring, you want to identify it when it is in flower, and you want to identify it at this time of year. And it's beautiful in all three of those seasons, it really is. So how do I take my St. John's wort? Well, I make a tincture of my St. John's wort. And this year, can you see how beautiful? Oh, gosh. Can you see how it looks red? Okay, so St. John's wort like bleeds red when you put it in in alcohol tincture. So I make alcohol-based tinctures, and this one is made with vodka. And I let it, I fill it about half. Now there are right ways and there are wrong ways. I'm just going to tell you how I do it. And I fill this jar about halfway with St. John's wort material, blooms and leaves and stems that have been wilted maybe for a day. So I let some of the moisture go. And then I fill it up with vodka all the way. So this is strained here. And then I will take and fill a little thing like this. Oops, this is my oil. I also make St. Johns Wort Oil, and this is for bruising or aches and pains, or if you just want to try taking it topically. Okay, so she is just, okay, so this is my little container with my tincture for ease of use. And I'll just put about 10 drops, yeah, in a glass of water. And if I take it every day, especially starting this time of year. I mean, in New England here, in the middle of winter, our sun, we don't see the sun until, like, I don't know, maybe I've blocked it out, like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then it sets at 4. So our days are short in the winter time, and that'll make you a little sad, right? Anyway, so St. John's wort is wonderful for that application. Now let me tell you the other application that I use St. John's wort for. I am going to sing you the song of my people through an illustration, through a little story, because anxiety. If you ever find yourself anxious, do not drink that. It's not yours. If you find yourself a little anxious at times, or if you are just genetically predisposed to being anxious, St. John's wort. Okay, so I like to use this illustration. When I was a kid, there was a cartoon that was on. It was like maybe a minute and a half long, okay? But I remember this. It was this cartoon about this little girl that had a balloon, and she was standing next to this boy. I think his name was Donald, and Donald was on a skateboard and had a dog. And she said, and this is how my anxiety goes, okay? She says, what would happen if I popped this balloon? What would happen if I popped this balloon and scared Donald? What would happen if I popped this balloon and scared Donald and his dog? What would happen if I popped this balloon, scared Donald and his dog, and they took off running? What would happen if I scared Donald and his dog and they took off running and something really bad happened? And then my brain will take that and it's like, what would happen if I popped this balloon, scared Donald and his dog, and they ran into the street and crashed into something, but then the stock market crashed at the same time, and there was a toilet paper shortage and a peanut butter shortage, and oh my word, what am I going to do? Have a little bit of St. John's wort. Because that'll take it down a little bit. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not going to pop the balloon. And then I have a few more sips, and then I'm like, you know, I don't even have balloons, so I think we're all set. That is how anxiety is for a lot of people. And so identify it. There are wonderful herbs that God has given us on this earth that will help you if you seek them out. And you have patience, because you got to try different things. But I like St. John's wort for seasonal affective disorder, and I like it for anxiousness, and I like it when you might find yourself going through times when it's a little hard and you're a little depressed. And when you open up this bottle of tincture, it smells like sunshine to me. I don't know why, but it does. So thumbs up if this has helped at all. Thumbs up if you're like, I ain't gonna pop the balloon. Good news, hey, you can buy St. John's wort tincture. You can buy it on Amazon, you can buy it at your local health food store, but I encourage you to make this plant part of the adventure of your garden, because it's very easy to grow. Some would say a nuisance once it gets really established in the garden. Not me, I use it. So, hey, subscribe. I would love that. So we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.